Hey y'all, it's BreiEndia, my 90-day self-journeys retreat in 808 Tavern. Today is August 14th, 2020. Out here at Santa Monica, California, the beach. I'm so happy that I was able to come out here and do my Pacific cleanse. Like I stated when I did my Atlantic Ocean cleanse, that it was a big deal for me this year to be able to do a cleanse on both sides of the map, while I also travel around the United States to be able to plant my seeds in each state, and that's in the way that I do it. So yes, today is a hot day, that's for sure. And I guess people, from California already know what that is on a regular basis, but just generally, just getting right into it, today is a day of self-confidence. And I can honestly say that besides doing the shoot and feeling confident, feeling bold, feeling loved, feeling beautiful, I mostly deem this day as a day of self-confidence because generally you have to have that internally just so that you are always able to be that way about everything that you do and put your time into. I know for me, I am learning how to be confident and not feel as though I need to pull back on having confidence due to the fact that people may think I'm cocky or conceited because of my confidence. And I don't have those types of attitudes. I don't carry myself like I'm better than anyone else, but I do carry myself in a way to be able to display to myself that I can be better than what I settle for and what I settle in. And that's just big with me when it comes to self-confidence, is that I like to be able to push myself, challenge myself to do things that maybe out of my normal or out of my comfort zone. I have, the same things that I enjoy doing. I've always enjoyed taking pictures. I've always wrote, but I never did it in a way that was just giving me a complete booster in my confidence and in what it is that I'm doing. Like I never supported myself in such a way for the things that I love doing, my desires, the hobbies and interests that I never really got the chance to get into, like the things that I've always slept on myself on because I was in one area, just doing medicine and growing in that, but not giving myself the nurturing for my creative side. So, I may have allowed the people around me, friends, to encourage me, in getting back into what I enjoy doing, because of just seeing them do it for themselves, And that's when I realized, like, okay, there's nothing wrong with giving support to others. But now it's time for me to support myself. It's time for me to nurture myself and water my endeavors of interest, my hobbies, and all those things, and really get back into what I used to do. I'm kind of nurturing my inner child right now. So there are things that when I was a kid, I used to say I wanted to do and grow up and be and, tackle, but I never did it. And, I'm not going to call out anything about who and what around me at those times kind of persuaded me not to want to do those things. But now it's not, I'm an adult. There's no excuses to what I haven't done that are things that I want to do. It's just a matter of me choosing to do it. So that's what I've been doing. Just doing all the things that I love, checking off things off my list that I always say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I'm just doing it. I'm just really out here doing it. I'm having confidence in what I'm doing because I know that I want to do it. Now, it'd be different if I'm doing something. I noticed that I don't have confidence in something that isn't really, for one, something I actually want to do. For two, isn't really it doesn't really match me. And I'm just no longer settling for stuff like that. Nobody should. And if I'm, like, say as though somebody's around me and there's something I do that they're not interested in, I will respect that, because simply, what is my point in arguing with someone else about something that they want to do? That's their life. So that's what I'm realizing, is that just because people may not agree with you being a well-rounded person, for instance, or you may be a person who can multitask and does a lot of things, that's me. I can speak on me about that because I'm a complete multitasking person. I'm a complete juggler when it comes to trying new things, getting into other things and all of that. And what people judge is the fact that they see, oh, what's she doing now? Or why is she doing this? Or she doing too much, or, I don't care no more. If people want to talk about me wanting to do more than one thing with my life and my time, that's on them. Like, there's really no point in even having other people in your mouth for conversation unless you've completely achieved every single thing in your purpose in this lifetime. And you can now and by that time, I would assume that would be a person who is more of an advisor or an uplifter. I don't think people who do achieve everything turn around and be people who try to bash others for trying to do the same. It's usually people who ain't doing what they want to actually do, who have something to say about somebody who is doing what they want to do. So that's why I don't, I just send my love and I send good vibes to people even like that, because what's the point? I'm not about to match your ignorance just because you're in that ignorant mind frame. Now, there's nothing wrong with speaking real, because, people view judging somebody else's actions as being real sometimes, and, comparing and contrasting what they do to others as, oh, they're the real one or whatever. But I view it as we all are here in reality, no matter what you do that isn't truly connected to the authenticity of yourself. What you did was real. So now you need to figure out if what you're doing in your life is actually really you. That's what makes it fake, is when you're carrying around baggage and luggage of things that you accepted that you didn't ask for, or that you didn't actually truly desire. Now, that's not to say you go back and try to change the history of your life and of your path. But when you recognize, or when I recognize, speaking for myself, that there were things that I still wanted to fulfill and accomplish and achieve, and I was holding myself back. I was holding myself back. Once I realized that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is my life. So ultimately, if I don't do something, or if I value someone else's opinion so much that I don't even give myself the opportunity to try what it is that I feel as though I would enjoy doing or actually succeed doing, then I'll never do the things that I actually truly want to do. And then there's a waste in my worth. There's a waste in my value. There's a waste in my purpose, because I'm not giving it the nurturing that it needs. And I also understand that having confidence connected to having a purpose is just generally knowing your purpose, regardless of who will understand it, and just going for it and just doing it and achieving it and accomplishing it, and nurturing it and growing it and stabilizing it and making it having consistency in, that component of you. And that is where I am right now, is just generally allowing myself to embrace those things that I actually want to do, the things that actually make me happy in life, and that I enjoy, and that come natural and easy on a day-to-day basis for me in my existence. So as I'm doing it, I'm constantly putting the pieces together, but it's just generally just me living in the way that I want to, and doing the things that I enjoy doing on my time. And, it's a great thing. And there are other things that I do. There are things that I used to do that I still actually have on my plate. But because I've learned over the years how to balance, how to budget, how to manage, how to gauge and plan my own things that I plan to execute, I just compartmentalize those things into my life, into my mind, into my existence. They're not separated. They're connected as a part of who I am. But I do what I want in the time that it's necessary, and that it feeds me in my spirit. Yeah. So just generally, that's just a big idea of confidence attached to stabilizing and nurturing and boosting and connecting. Connecting with self. You need confidence to connect with yourself, because there is even a part of each one of us that I feel as though we don't even bother to give attention, because we're fearful of that part of ourselves. And once you kind of face those parts of yourself that are either a fearful piece of you, or an ignorant component of you, or confused or negative component of you, it's like once you face it and you accept it as being a part of who you are, it's like you learn how to not shut it down, but kind of come back to the balance that you need of who you are, so that those things that you haven't given the attention to are now realizing what's more important in the forefront of your life in this time, and where you are evolving towards. I feel like, I don't know if that made, complete sense to everyone, but for those that it did, I encourage you to continue to be comfortable and being confident of what it is that you're doing, and understanding the bad days are meant to kind of kick you into gear of the next part of what you're doing, or the next level, or just kick you into gear, or use that time, if it's a dead day at work or at your company, to just, think, or give yourself some time, be still, manifest something different, think of new ideas, plan for execution to be more smooth and fluent when things are moving and rolling again the way that they were, or it may be completely different, depending on each place or where you work or what's your environment. But generally, just keeping confidence in everything that you do, having the confidence to speak on, who you are, to no matter to who, but not necessarily needing to tell your business. Everybody ain't got to know your business for you to be confident in your truth. And that's what I realize, is that, and that's what I love about just generally living in your truth. It's just you being the person that you are, regardless of how it's viewed, as well as you just being confident about what you do and say, because you've already been living in your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different if you've worn masks, or if you've been carrying on like you're something that you are not. Then that kind of causes you to not have confidence, because then you're not really living in your authentic self, if that makes sense. So that's why I don't get on here crying and doing all that. But I do cry. I have moments where I break down because I'm trying to figure something out, or because, sometimes I used to cry because I didn't understand people's actions towards me, or just attitude generally about, a statement I make or my opinion on something. But it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care anymore, in the fact of, I value and respect other people's emotions and feelings. But I'm not an honest friend because I'm trying to hurt my friends. I'm an honest friend because who else gonna tell you the truth if all your friends lying to you? And sometimes we live in our truth, but we may have friends that we kind of like have conversations with, and we get their opinion, not for validation, but because, we like to get the other opinion of people around us, whether it's friends, family, whatever. And if they're lying to you, it's kind of like, what's the point of the relationship or the friendship if you got a person that's going to lie to you about something you asked them about, especially if it's important? So that's why I live in my truth. And, if I'm going to have a friend, I'm not about to sit here and if you're not my friend if I can't be honest with you and you're not honest with me, whether you come at me with an attitude about it or not. Honesty is the best way to go about a relationship or friendship. Now, when it comes to strangers and people you don't really know or interact with like that, they shouldn't be wanting to be comfortable enough to ask your opinion and actually be listening to your opinion. But there's the self-confident portion of each person that needs to be nurtured and grown, because when you have self-confidence, you're going to answer your questions first, and then the answers of other people or opinions of other people, maybe a takeaway, but typically once you have the answers for your own self, it's not that you're not valuing the opinions of others. It's just that you're not valuing it before your own self-validation. And that's just generally my thought and perception of confidence, self-confidence, and boosting yourself, stabilizing, and just being great at all you do. Love on you. Be confident that you are awesome, that you are going to achieve everything that you set out to do, that you are going to pass the test, you're going to get to the next level or stage or whatever it is that you're striving for, and don't let anyone's words or attitude towards you stop it. And that's just how I put it. So this is BreiEndia in my 90-day Sub-Journeys retreat. Thank you so much to the photographers today who did the Pacific Ocean cleanse for me. I'm going to tag y'all and everything. And you all be blessed. Do everything that you love to do and be great. And talk soon.